I'm Caroline and welcome to my home on the hillside here in Wales. Today I've got some really fast, quick and easy crafts for you. Sometimes we've got all the time in the world and we can really appreciate the fun and the pleasure of doing our crafts at a leisurely pace. Sometimes it's not quite that easy. You know the children need picking up from school in half an hour, or you have to go to work in an hour, you have to be up very early in the morning, you can't stay up late tonight, and then you want to craft but you need something quick and easy, and I think these crafts will cover that. Some of them are super speedy. Before we get started, I just want to say a huge thank you to all my subscribers and all my viewers. I really do appreciate every one of you and I love reading your comments. Thank you so much. Right, no time to lose. Let's get crafting. This project is super quick and easy. You'll just need a glass vase or vase and some self-adhesive wall tiles that I got from the pound shop, which is like Dollar Tree. And you could also use a vase or a vase that you've painted white, and I think that would look very nice too. So I'm just going to cut a strip of tiles. Now you just decide how many you want to stick. So I'll cut that to length, peel off the backing, stick it on the vase. How easy is that? And if you want to do something a little bit daring, cut off another strip, and then I'm going to cut an even smaller one. And just stick these on to the side of the big long strip. Now, how easy was it to change a boring plain vase into something that looks like that? I think that is very high-end and stylish. I love it, and you could do it in whatever colour or design you like. Depends on what these sticky tiles you can get at the shops. So let's have a look what this looks like on my display. For this project, I'm going to use this horse that I bought for 50p. I tried taking these little wooden bits off and they didn't want to come off. But I'm not going to worry about that because this is going to be the back. There are some words that have been cut out with a cricut or something and put on the back. They don't want to come off easily. So I'm not even going to spend time cleaning those off because today the whole point of this video is to make fast things. Maybe not super speedy, but certainly not things that are going to take you forever. So by turning the horse over, he looks pretty good. He's just got a little chip here. So I am going to put a blob of acrylic white on there before we start. I don't know whether that's going to cover him. You can see he's not been particularly well painted anyway. So I'll leave that on to dry a little bit and then we'll give him a rub over later and see how we can get him to look. So we need to get started on his frame. Now this is his frame, 50p from the charity shop, rather tatty and grubby. So by painting this now, this frame will dry because we're only dry brushing it and it'll be ready for us in no time. So as you can see, I've gone quite heavy with the dry brushing. For this project, I like heavy dry brushing. But you may decide you don't want to, or you may want to paint it completely white. This gorgeous gingham is going to go perfect with this project. So out with the tacky glue and give a good coat of tacky glue all over the backing. It's so hot here today, I get the feeling that this glue is going to dry too quickly. So I'm just emptied a big blob out. Now I'm brushing it on very quickly. Now one of the reasons you need to make sure this is securely fixed to the back in this fabric is I'm going to glue this horse to it, and if it's not fixed securely it's going to sag. So frame is dry, you can now pop the back in. I painted these tumbling blocks so they can now go on the back here to hold the horse away from the backing. If they weren't painted, they would show a little bit at the sides. Now I'm happy using the hot glue for this. If you're a little worried if this is going to be in a child's room and it could fall down and hurt somebody, then I would advise you to use something a little bit stronger, or even screw from the back of the frame through into these blocks to make sure it's not going to fall. Now we're going to pop our horse into the frame. The repair isn't the best of repairs up there, so I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue on the back of this butterfly and pop it on there. And oh, look at that. And I'm also going to put a bow. Now, it's mainly bunnies I'd like to put bows on, but I think this horse warrants a bow. A little blob of hot glue, and on we go. So this is the sort of project that you can make fast or slow. You can put in as much or as little effort as you want to. I didn't paint the horse. We just ended up putting a little butterfly on there. I think that's fine. We just did some dry brushing on the frame. You could have spent a while putting 2 or 3 coats of paint on. You could decorate the horse. You could actually put the pattern on the horse, the gingham, and then have a plain background. That would be a little bit more fiddly. So it's up to you, but I'm really pleased with how this looks for how long it's taken, which is hardly any time at all. And look at that, and I just love the 3-dimensional look on this. I think that is going to look stunning, especially after the tacky glue is dried. So let's have a look what this looks like up on my display. If you're finding this video fun, interesting or helpful so far, then please give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. This is the sort of craft I love doing because it's quick, easy and really helpful if you're last minute thinking, what can I make for somebody, for a gift or something like that. I got these serviettes or napkins and they were by Emma Bridgewater, and I had them reduced to 50p in a garden centre. So, ooh, I like the colour on those. I can use those. I will need 2 because they aren't quite long enough to go right around the jar. But if you haven't got enough to go around, it won't hurt to have a little gap at the back. Or you could even make it into a stylised point you wanted to do it and just use it as a little label on the front. So to be the right size for this jar, I need to cut just below that edge there. And if you're wondering, the noise of the day, because there's always a noise going on in my house, it's the washing machine. We've got a very noisy water system in our house, and I just put the washing machine on, and then as I was filming, I thought, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, hopefully not. So now you need to take the backing paper off the napkin. Now it may be easy, if not, just use a piece of washi tape. And that usually does the trick. And then start to Mod Podge, oops, and then work your way right around your jar, gluing on your serviette. Although it's nice to have a challenge sometimes, I think sometimes it's nice to do an easy craft. Especially if you've had a busy day, it's so relaxing to do something as simple as this. And so effective. Then I like to give the outside of the napkin a coat with Mod Podge. If you want to put this in the dishwasher or you want to wash it, probably best to use, well, definitely best to use the dishwasher safe Mod Podge. I haven't got any of that, so we're using the normal one. And I wipe around the outside of the piece of napkin because I want to preserve the shininess of this jar. You can leave Mod Podge and put it all over if you want to, and it'll just take that shiny edge off the jar, but I like the shiny edge. Now I'm going to tie something around the top. I was going to put some ribbon, but I think I'm going to put some raffia. And I've got some navy and some natural colour, so let's get some of that. I'm going to make a cute little bow to go over the top of the raffia and tie it off. Just wrap the string around your fingers a few times, cut the end, tie it off with something. I'm using a piece of raffia. Snip the ends off, fluff out the loops, and glue it on top of the raffia ends. Then get my little heart shape. I think it's a bit big to go on the bow, so I'm going to pop it just below. Now, one little word of warning, when you're making this, make sure you leave time for your napkin to dry, because I'm rushing mine a little bit and I keep touching bits and tearing it. It is very delicate until it's dried. So let's have a look what this looks like up on my display. this craft, it's going to take a little bit longer because it's in two parts. I've got these egg cups and I've also got this mirror that I bought for 50p from the charity shop. Now there is a discrepancy in the colour between the eggs, which are white, and the mirror, which is like a country cottage white. So I thought the best way to sort that out, is clear some of these bits and pieces away, is to use some of this ultramarine acrylic paint. Because I'm going to be using this colour on the napkins, it seems like a pretty good match. Now you could mask off your mirror if you want to leave it as a mirrored bottom. I'm not going to. That mirror is going to be covered. I would take it out, but if you look on the back, there's no way of taking it out. It's been glued in. I don't want to crack it, so I'm leaving it in place. It can't do any harm. And I'm going to dry brush the mirror. Not only does the dry brushing mean that you can't tell the difference between the whites, it also ties in the egg cups to the tray, and also it makes you can pick any colour and it can suit your home decor. Now I love that. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I wasn't sure what the colour was going to be like when it was put on the white, but I think that does the job perfectly. So we'll pop that over there to dry. We'll get on with our egg cups. Using the same napkin as I used before, I'm just going to cut out the chicken shape, and the easiest way to do this for me is to run a little bit of water around the edge of whatever it is you want to cut out, and not use the scissors, because the scissors will give it a really stark edge. If you do it like this, and then once you've wet the edges, I like to keep my finger and nail just over the bit I don't want torn off, because it's so easy to tear it off. It's good with a small pattern like this on a napkin, because if you're a bit clumsy like me and it goes wrong, you've got many more to try it out on. Oh, I should have said, take the backing sheets off the napkin too. So now I've got 2 chickens, 2 egg cups, a brush and some Mod Podge. Put some Mod Podge where you want your chicken to be. Pop him on. And give a little coat around the edges and over the top as well. And the same with the other one. If your Mod Podge is starting to get sticky and you think, oh, I need to give these a little bit more of a brush to push them down, wet your brush very gently or very slightly, because otherwise it'll stick to the brush and then come back off again. So while the egg cups are drying, I've cut out a piece of fabric to fit into the circle here. Now, it's not a perfect fit, but that doesn't matter. I'm using Aleene's Clear Gel Tacky Glue. I think you could probably use Mod Podge, but I know Aleene's Tacky Glue has always been there for me when it comes to gluing fabric, so I like to use it. Pop that in there. Now you could use paper, you could use paint, you could paint it, but I fancied a little bit of gingham because I love using gingham. And I haven't worried too much about going close to the edge because I'm going to run around with a little layer of twine, which I think adds to the country charm. So you've got some options with this tray. If you wanted to, you could put some handles, or if you've got tumbling blocks, I suppose you could use those. I don't want to put any handles on here. 2 reasons. 1, I think it's so small, I think handles would overwhelm it. And 2, when I'm finished using this for displaying my egg cups, I'm going to use it for something else, and I don't want to drill holes in the frame. So now let's let this dry and then see what it looks like up on my display. Now this craft idea is ridiculously quick and ridiculously easy. Some people may say that's not really craft, but it is, because craft is creating something beautiful or something interesting out of something that isn't so beautiful or interesting. And this, if you're stuck last minute for a gift or you need to change your home decor pretty sharpish, then is a brilliant idea. Or if you've only got 5 minutes before you know you have to go to work or before the children wake up, whatever, you could do this. So I've got this plant from IKEA originally, but it cost me £1 in the pound shop. And it's got a lovely orchid on the top, but boy, is that pot ugly. Now you could paint the pot or something, but what I'm going to do is choose something that will really accentuate this flower and make it look stunning. So I went through all the things I've got in my cupboard and I found this. This was a creative process. I could have put any pot on it, but I chose From the flower and the height and the style of the flower, this is the pot that I want to put it in. So let's have a look what it looks like. Already that flower looks a million times better, but just to add to the creativity, I've got some white and blue glass beads, I suppose they are here. I'm going to empty those in. Spread them around to hide the pot. I'm going to dust the leaves off because I've just realised how dusty this plant was when I bought it. So that was very quick and easy, took hardly any time at all, but did include me making decision processes for colour, shape, size, things I like, things I don't like, put it all together and come up with this. So if you're really feeling creative and you haven't got time, you may be able to find time for something as simple as this. For this craft, I'm going to make a floral display. Now, I'm showing you this because, for sure, I got this from the charity shop for 99p, so you haven't got to use the type of bird cage or hanging item that I'm going to use. But I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to use this one, which is a wicker one. So this is what I got my inspiration from, so I want to stick with it. And I put in some dry florist foam in the bottom. Now, this is going to be very interesting to do because it's just about touching my camera. So I'm going to start with these long florals. So I'm going to start by make sure that the loop is facing the right way. And I'm going to start by putting some of these smaller ones towards the back. This is very difficult to show you. Well, let's see if I can do it lying down. Sorry about any clattering. I'll probably pop some music on so that you can enjoy watching without all the clattering and clumping around. Now, apologies for not showing you this perfectly as I was doing it because my camera is just in completely the wrong position for making tall items. Now, this is the sort of thing that you can make as fast or as slow as you like, because if I show you these, you can buy a bunch like this. It's all on one pick. So you've only got to put, say, 3 of these in. I know these don't match, but they come already looking good before you start. So if you want to really speed up something like that, then get yourself some of these multiple picks, I suppose you'd call them, multiple bloom picks, and that would be really quick. And you can get these in foliage too, so that really speeds things up. Right, let's go have a look what this looks like up on my display. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I made all those crafts in about 2 hours this morning, so they really are that fast. And you can cut as many corners as you need to in order to make them quick, or you can take your time and add a little bit more, do a little bit more. Enjoy making those crafts, but really put a lot more effort in. It's all up to you. What you feel like doing, you can do. Which one's your favourite? Let me know in the comments below. I'm still not sure. I think it's going to be the horse in the frame. Well, I'll see you all next time, but until then, don't forget, have fun. Bye.